Oh goodness, it says I'm live. Hello. um, yeah, hi, good morning. Very sorry to everybody who was sitting around waiting in the chat because they saw the little marker go up and say that I was streaming. This is all fresh and new and a little bit peculiar. Live. My goodness. I've said before that I ordinarily edit quite heavily when I'm doing my videos because I do have a tendency to waffle, which I am now demonstrating for the delight and edification of all present. But, hi, and that's good. Annie, hello, she asks, is this your first live? Yes. I don't ordinarily cope terribly well with talking directly to the public. So yes, this is my first live. History in the making. Hello. Jeez. Now, I wasn't, I'm not really planning on being here for a huge amount of time. The idea was to just make a quick announcement, say good morning, and get on with the jolly old day. If you are coming back and watching this later, then I will have filled out the description with a little bit more, and hopefully that'll help answer some more questions. So, everybody's, oh my goodness. Hello, chat. Good morning, everybody. And yeah, Annie says, taking credit as inspiration. Yes, this is entirely Annie's fault. I would genuinely have just dropped this on Twitter and left it there. You know, if you aren't a Twitter user, I can totally understand not necessarily wanting to jump onto another social media platform, but I do tend to, like, I find it easier to chat to folks and communicate and answer questions and messages and stuff like that on Twitter. As well, you get to see more work in progress and stuff, and, you know, I like sharing the cool stuff that I see online. If you get nervous, just hold up a pot of Earthshade. I've got my mug, which is all I've got. Why is it a sheet with a rolling pin? Because it was the biggest mug available. I used to have a really cool Starfleet Command mug, but that broke. It got old and decided to give up the ghost, so now I have rolling pin sheep. Excuse me. I hope you can hear me fine. This is only a 720 thing. So yes, what is the purpose of this actual show, such as it is? We're going to do, or anybody who's interested, we're going to do a painting project. Not really a challenge so much, and not a competition. This was inspired, excuse me, very sorry. I saw recently folks doing like unit painting things. I know the guys who are into Two Fat Lardies. A lot have been painting Brunswickers from the Napoleonic period recently. And I had seen someone, I wish I could remember the hashtag they were using, but a whole bunch of people were all painting the same monster from D&D. And I thought that was really cool because you're not just taking part in a group project, which is always, it's a little bit different from like a high school group project where one of you is doing all the work and everybody else is not. In this case, it was, you know, it's a hobby thing that everyone's just doing for its own sake. I love seeing people take on the same miniature. I find it really interesting to watch people's choices, not just technique-wise, but color choices and, you know, sigils and symbols and stuff like that. So as far as, you know, what would we all paint together? And I had to think about this for a while because I knew, with all the love in the world, I didn't want it to be a Space Marine because everybody's always painting Space Marines, and you see these group projects and crusade painting happening at the moment. Not to rag on workshop stuff, more the fact that it is ubiquitous. You see quite a lot of it. I have an unpainted gargantuan red dragon mini. Ooh. Cool, those are awesome. But picking the miniature that, you know, the plan for everybody to paint was kind of it was a challenge because I wanted to step outside of the big names, so no Games Workshop, no Warlord, that sort of thing, and something that would be interesting, fairly broadly interesting. So I started thinking about smaller companies because this time of year, of course, and particularly with everything that's going on in the world, finding a smaller supplier and going, hey, this work is really cool. Like, I've promoted Annie's stuff in the past, and I have a fair few miniatures in the backlog. But I always love being able to highlight cool stuff that's out there, which you might not have heard of. Can you do Sons of Medusa? At some point is the short answer there. So Bad Squiddo turned out to be where I was going for this miniature. If you've looked in the description, the spoiler warning, it's already there. But I went with Lagertha, or Lathgertha, or however you would pronounce the name. In the Wikipedia article about her, there are 4 accepted spellings of her name, and I'm sure over history there are more than that, but Lagertha is how I've heard it pronounced. So I'm going to stick to that because it's easier than Lathgertha every time I want to mention it. But I chose her because there's a little bit of everything. I knew I wanted a miniature that had no helmet because I like painting faces. And I think there's a lot there that you can do. Like if you're looking to have fun painting a model, a face is a good place to start. Then there's fur, there's cloth, there's a cape, there's leather, there's a sword. Is it a sword or is it an axe? Might be an axe, doesn't matter. There's metal if you want to do that. And there is a shield. So if you're into, freehanding icons and stuff like that, there's a lot of space to really play on the model, painting-wise. Just take another quick look at the chat. Can you do a Citadel versus other paint comparison? The trouble is that there's not really a straight answer. Like comparison-wise, when it comes to different paint manufacturers, it really depends on what you want them to do. I do have some plans to highlight particular brands that I like. Like I have done Army Painter quite a bit. There's Instar out there as well. I particularly recommend their Varnish Plus, and I use a ton of Vallejo. So comparison-wise is a little bit difficult. Can you say the punchline? And hello and welcome to another very special How I Paint Things. Although it's not a How I Paint Things, we're here, we're talking. It is an axe. Yes, thank you. In my head, I just saw her with a sword for some reason, and yeah. But Lagertha was the miniature that I chose because of all of those reasons. I figured there's a lot there to have fun with as a painter. So the plan is you can cruise along to the link in the description and pick up Lagertha by herself. Ordinarily, she comes as a 2-miniature pack. There's a mounted and foot version. The foot version was the one I was more interested with because slightly less to do, and I don't like painting horses. So got in touch with Annie, and she very kindly agreed to go through to her casters, and ask if they'd be able to make Lagertha available on foot by herself for a limited time. So they agreed to that, and she's very kindly then popped her up on the store. You can go along and pick her up. I said she ought to put her on at £5. Because you're splitting up a set, but she's actually £4. So if you're in the States or you're in the EU like I am, you're looking at $5 to $6 or euros or whatever, $10 if you're down in New Zealand, and she's posted on weight. So it's a tiny wee slip of metal. It's fairly cheap buy-in. That was another thing I wanted to make sure of too. You do have an excellent British accent. You should work as a narrator on British broadcasting. Right, very quick story time. I struggled when I first moved to England. I struggled to be understood because I had, of course, a broad Kiwi accent. Nobody understood what the hell I was talking about. So I guess affected a very clear accent to make sure that everybody could understand. So the newscaster kind of sound, just after 10 years living in the UK, that is what I sound like now. If you ever hear about Michael Dorn ruining his voice while starring as Worf, I guess it's a similar situation. This is just me from now on. Oops. But on the plus side, at least everybody understands me very clearly. Expat. Yeah. UK folk can normally spot that. Anyhow, back to what I was talking about. So we've got the Lagatha going. She is available for a limited time on foot, though I thoroughly recommend you go pick up a whole bunch of Bad Squiddo stuff at the same time. You know, if you're going to put in an order, might as well be a big one, eh? And what we're going to do is, from whenever it arrives, so starting from today, the 11th of October, go pick up your Lagatha. When she arrives, on the 30th of November, we'll call it there. So we've basically got a month if we've got a little bit of shipping time, almost 2 months. Yeah. So we'll all paint the same model if it's something that interests you. And along the way, hopefully people are going to post a bunch of work in progress stuff. I will need to get back onto Facebook and actually update the page a little bit. But most of it I'm going to be taking, using Twitter for that. So that's really the basis of it. This came out of the desire to just do something for fun. I spend a lot of time either painting for the channel or painting for specific army projects. So just getting a model that I think is cool and going, I'm going to paint that, doesn't happen very often. And for a hobby that is supposed to be enjoyable for its own sake, I think sometimes we can get caught up, even if you're just painting your own army stuff, you can get caught up in that need for productivity. So I thought, let's do one model. Let's do one model across almost 2 months and have some fun with it, really enjoy painting it. This is Bad Squiddo. Can a link be in the chat? There is a link in the description, but I will pop it in the chat too. See, look, I'm like an old man working a microwave. Ah, there we go. So that was the purpose of all of this, just to jump on, not have to record. I am changing color a lot. That's really peculiar. And my hair, of course, lockdown and quarantine and all that being what it is, you got to be nice to me. It's been a while since a barber. Yeah, I'm not really got a huge amount else to say or announce or anything. Luckily, if you have been following along with the trials and travails at work, we've finally got 3 people back in my department where it was me for a couple of weeks. So hopefully we'll be able to back rolling with videos coming out on the regular. I've got a couple of really cool things. You look like the guy in the poster in my garage. Whoa! I look like Garage Troy. You can do it. You can do the thing. I feel sorry for anybody who's just coming in and going, what is this? Yeah, good morning. So that's really all I've got to go. If you do want to buy the, answering the question here, is it okay to buy the deluxe one with the mounted version? You can if you want to. As far as I keep wanting to say competition. That's not what it is. As far as the project goes, we're going to concentrate on painting just the foot version. And you can pick her up individually. That's the link is lurking there somewhere. But like I said, if you want the full one, it is a great model, and at 10 quid, pretty cool. Sing along? No, 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 no. Otherwise, we'll get Roll Northumbria or something going. I don't. No, I don't sing. It would be bad. Is there a US-based place to buy this? I think, yeah, Annie's got you covered. There's a couple of suppliers there. Although Annie is, I mentioned just briefly earlier, Lagatha on foot, she's shipped out at weight. So it's fairly minimal. Shipping worldwide from the UK for just the one model would probably not be too bad. Sing, sing, sing. No! I'm not going to. And even if I did, I wouldn't know what to sing. So, paint along. Oh, God, see, I put my foot in it there, announcing a sing along, which we're not going to do. So, yeah, if there's any more questions, I'll field a couple, and then I'm going to go have my lunch. Yeah, this was just to announce all of that. Make sure that you are following along either on Facebook or Twitter. Like I said, Twitter is ordinarily where I'm most active, but I will post some little hobby updates over the coming months on here too, because a lot of folks follow me here on YouTube that don't over on Twitter. So want to be visible. He's a Kiwi too, right? Yes, I am a Kiwi. I live in Germany. It's a long story. Are the codexes actually out yet? I don't know. Games Workshop doesn't give me anything. I'm not cool enough for that. I think if you're talking about the Gargants, the big boys, I think they're on pre-order now. I believe they're next week. But some people might have had advanced copies. They tend to get them a week early. Hello there, Kurt. Don't do normal social media. There's nothing normal about social media. We are running headlong into a situation which humanity was never prepared for. We're not designed to take in information the speed at which social media can give it to us. So if you ever feel like you want to disengage or step back, curate your feed, as the saying goes, I don't think there's anything wrong in not having, a social media presence. I think it's fairly reasonable. Space Marine and Necron Codex. I think they might be out. Actually, I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with the Space Marine stuff, mostly because the whole Indomitus thing just left a sour taste in my mouth. Why do you make a launch box for a new edition of a game, limited, and then made to order? But if it's made to order, it's months after the game is out that you're going to get it. What is the point? But that's okay. I'm just going to wait a little while until Space Marines take my interest again, which they probably will. Will you do collabs with Dana Howell? Dana Howell, her stuff is awesome. I really like her video where she explains the gubbins that goes into paint, like how paint works, what everything is. I found that really interesting. Collaborations, I don't know. I'm not 100% certain how we'd actually go about it, or more specifically what we'd do. I'm not averse to the idea. I don't know. But if you're hearing the name Dana Howell for the first time in answer to that question, I really hope that when I point, I'm pointing at the the chat. But yeah, go check out Dana Howell if you haven't heard her name already. Awesome stuff in there. Thank you for the Minotaurs video. Followed it and they look awesome. Yay! Always really glad to hear from people who are using the techniques and getting great results. That's really cool. Thank you for letting me know. Do you have any thoughts on ergonomics while painting? I paint like something out of a Ralph Bakshi movie. I paint hunched up and doubled over myself. I used to have a really nice chair that I painted in, and I loved it, and it was great, and I could paint for hours. Ergonomics is important at home for all of the same reasons that it's important at work. So if you, like I used to work in an office and we had ergonomic specialists come around that actually measure our desk and chair and everything, and I felt great at work. And then I got home and I slumped in my PC chair and felt like a monster. So I do have some thoughts, mostly that I don't take it seriously enough, and I'm probably ruining my dear spine, of which I only have one. A couple of you have mentioned that you've put in your order from Bad Squiddo, so rad, along with another miniature. Awesome, awesome. Hey Troy, Boob Snake. That one. Hey Phil. Some of you might not recall, it was the Slaneshi Lord on, I don't remember what the mount was called, but it was a boob snake. It was a huge armored dude riding a boob snake. And I don't remember quite how that became the phrase, but there we go. Gargos on pre-order, Space Marine Necron Codexes, collabs, website updated. Yeah, I think that is everything. So, if there's any last questions, I think there are a couple of last questions. Lockdown project is Bolt Action Brits. Cool. Paint them up as New Zealanders. Get the unit markings and make Kiwis for Italy. So yeah, I am gonna shoot off. There is a link to a Google Doc in the description, which will explain all of this in detail. Or once this is finished uploading, or I don't know how these live streams work, eh? But I'm sure it will be available to catch up. Ordered Lagatha foot and mount, good choice. Golden opportunity to sell your channel to those of us there from Bad Squiddo. Hello, Bad Squiddo folks. If you don't know me, if you've bumbled onto me somehow, I do painting tutorials, guides, really just sharing the stuff that I've learned over the years, trying to get models on the table with a minimum of fuss. I say all the time, we overthink. We try and reinvent the wheel, just trying to paint a model for the table. And you do see, a lot of people, when you can't replicate how it looks on the box, people get disheartened and they don't carry on painting, and we lose folks in the hobby. So my intention is largely just stick to the simple stuff, and that's what I do. I paint stuff the easy way. I really struggle with edge highlighting. Can never get the paint consistency right, or lines are too thick. Any advice? Short answer, it does change from paint to paint. Even within a single manufacturer, you'll get paints of different consistencies, whether you're looking at Games Workshop with layers and bases or what have you, or even Vallejo stuff. Edge highlighting, my advice is genuinely thicker paint is better. Well, it is better to have it too thick than too thin, let's say. Because if your paint is too thick and you touch the model, it won't flow everywhere and you'll have a huge mistake to clean up. Honestly, though, it is one that just comes with practice. And bear in mind when you're doing it that you are going to end up struggling trying to apply the same thinning or what have you to different manufacturers, even different colors from the same line of paints. But that is experience. Err on the side of caution, slightly thicker is better. Any plans to do some of the new Necron Warriors? Eventually, yes, I would love to. But then I got to buy them, and then I got to have space for Necron Warriors, and so on. Ceramite White is like Warplaster. I'm really glad they replaced Ceramite White with Corax White. Corax White still goes quite... It separates and goes kind of kludgy in the pot, but I've dropped a couple of agitators in there, and as long as you shake the dickens out of it before you use it, Corax White has been quite good. It gets a good recommend from me. I especially like that little bit of a blue tint to it. So it's not a pure white. You can highlight it quite easily. Yeah. A friend of mine has a birthday in November. Oh, cool. Hope that yours, you've got yours painted up and she'll enjoy that. That would be great. Wraithbone Primer is a big improvement. Yes. Wraithbone and Grey Seer. Much as I ordinarily like to grumble about the price of the Workshop's primer cans, Grey Seer and Wraithbone are actually really good. I use Grey Seer for a lot of my historical stuff. In particular, I've started painting Germans with it. I can't imagine going back to a darker grey primer. So yeah, they're a good one. Go get some Wurst, dude. Lunch is calling. Do you tend to monologue a lot? I talk to myself. Ordinarily, if I've got a video, like say I'm going to record a video for the day, I've got a Minotaur to paint, for example, or whatever, I will ordinarily prime it and then walk around the house making tea and what have you for a little bit and talk myself through how I'm going to do the video. Because I don't script these things. I don't script the videos either. So if you're watching a tutorial and I'm talking, it's all off the cuff. So yeah, I do monologue just to try and sort my brain out. Will you be doing any Eldar painting? Yes. I've actually got some Guardians primed up and ready to go. Guardians I really like because they are miniatures where the same basic painting principle works across the whole range. If you can paint a Guardian, you can paint a Dire Avenger, you can paint a Howling Banshee. Just very quickly, if any workshop guys happen to be watching, somehow, plastic aspect warriors, come on. I don't even play Eldar, and it's about time they got some plastic aspects. So, but yeah, that's me for the morning. It is now 12:30. It's definitely lunchtime. So, like I said, all the information relating to this will be in the Google Doc. It's in there, in the link, in the description. And yeah, you can go back and watch this replayed, I guess. I think that's how these work. Okay, so thank you very much for tuning in. This was sudden, unannounced, and quite fun, you know? I don't know how often I'd be doing one of these, and genuinely, I don't think I can actually live stream painting. The way that I record at my desk, I have to use my phone, and I don't know that it would work very well. But if ever I figure it out, I'll let you guys know, and we can have some fun like this. So thank you very much. Everyone say thank you in the chat. It's very sweet. Thank you. I'm still just really glad that these videos actually do help. So yeah, if you're over from Bad Squiddo and you've not seen what I do before, check them out. I particularly like the Crimson Fist tutorial. Is probably one of the best Marine ones. I really like the Contrast and Classic Genestealer Cultist. So if you want to see me doing something cool. And there is a Bad Squiddo painting Shield Maidens video back in here, which is a slightly longer one, but a lot of fun. So if you haven't seen what I do before, go check those out. Anyhow, cheery bye. I am going to go have my lunch, make my third cup of tea of the day. And you all, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. Enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, I have to click 2 things to end the stream. Well, let's just ruin that.